Hi, I'm Gaby.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Chaliece. And you're listening to Music Makes Me Lose Control.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Music Makes Me Lose Control. We started this pod to discuss insight into the industry, debunk pop myths, and dive deep into happening music and artists. Before we start, let's talk about what merch we are wearing today. So, Jenna?
Hello, everybody. So today, listen, this is just how I am. The later in the episodes we get, the more of me comes out. So today I am wearing this black Halsey shirt. It's like from her kind of like Badlands Room 93 era. And it has her favorite number, Brooklyn, and then the thing on the back that I love like a lot is this. Anyways, it's a bit small on me now, but listen, when I tell you I was in high school and I found this girl and I was like, she's such a badass. And I wore it on school and I thought it was really cool, you guys. I thought it was real hit. Anyways, yeah. Love Halsey. I just ordered it online. Nothing special.
I think you're super hip.
Oh, thanks,
too.
Gaby.
Couldn't be me.
Same. So my shirt today is Ed Sheeran. It is he did this pop-up like everywhere, and I really wanted to go, but I couldn't go. And I think I was an intern at the time, so I don't know where I was. But I know I was on the bus. I don't know why I was on a bus, but I remember being on a bus on the way to Philly, and I couldn't get it myself, so I just asked my boyfriend to get it, and he walked blocks to this place to go and get me some merch, and that's how I got this. It was the album with all the features. And yeah, it's cute. It's orange on it and it says Ed and all the different songs and whatnot. So it's cute.
I like it. Very cute.
Thanks.
Okay, so as we all know, I ran out of real merch. So this is merch from a record label, Stax Records, right? They're a record label in Memphis. I bought this because I was on a school orchestra competition field trip. So we were in Memphis and we went to go visit the recording studio and I was just cold. So I bought the sweatshirt. Yeah, they're known for a lot of, I don't know what they're known for actually. I know Otis Redding was part of the record label and that's about it. Stand By Me. So yeah, that's my merch for today. Super fun, comfy sweatshirt, 10 out of 10. In today's episode, we will be talking about artists that we think should not be famous. This is all based on our opinions, and obviously people may feel very differently about some of the artists that we talk about, but we came up with this episode idea because there are certain artists that we really feel strongly about, and we want to dissect why we don't really like these people. So, obviously, let's start off, and let's talk about some of the artists that we don't think should be famous. So, I'll start, because I'm excited about this episode. My first one is Dixie D'Amelio. TikTok star, became famous because of her sister Charlie. And, I don't know what it is about these social media influencers that think that because they have such a big following, they're like, I'm an artist. What makes you think that? What makes you think that's okay? To disrespect the music industry like that? Because it's not good. So, why? Why are you doing this to us? That's all I want to know. It's just not good.
I highly disagree. No, I'm kidding. No, I completely agree. I think we spoke about her before because it's just why. What possessed you to do this? You can have a love for music all you want, but sometimes you can have a love for music and not share it. And that is what I would rather when it comes to Dixie. All her little fans are really just gonna go crazy if they happen to hear this. But yeah, I'm just not a fan. Listen to it, not a fan. I don't really understand people on TikTok hyping it up, but I do see a mix. There's like some hype, but then there's also people that are like, what's wrong with you guys? And that's how I feel.
I have no opinion about this artist in particular. I honestly can't say I'm very familiar, but I think in general I have a problem with people who create like online content who think that they should start a music career without having any talent, any at all, for singing or even producing or writing. Just don't. Just don't. Like, go in another lane. At least try to act or something. Like, that's even closer. You don't have to be a singer. Who told you you were good?
They
I yield
all
my
do
time.
it though. They all do. And you know what? Before we move on, I just want to say that I saw this video of Dixie that she was like, I don't want to go to college because I've heard that like frats play my music during parties and that would just be like super awkward. And you know what? First of all, I haven't been to a frat party in a long time. Haven't been in a party in a long time. But I can assure you that a Dixie song wouldn't be played. And you know what? If you were proud of your music, then you would want it to be played. You would want to listen to it. You would want to be there. So obviously, she's not too proud of it either.
The confidence on these people. Like, I'm all for being so sure of yourself, but like, you also have to be able to check yourself. Like, come on
Literally.
now.
Not even the confidence, but the audacity. Like, and like you said, Jenna, who told you? I used to think that all the time. When it came to American Idol auditions, who told you to get on there? Like, my mom used to say to me, like, why would these people's families
Let them do
just say,
this.
it's embarrassing, but if you take away the embarrassing, shouldn't you want to be honest to the people that you love? Like, and I know they have family because the family's on the sideline cheering them on. You're disrespectful. You're being disrespectful to your family member by letting them go up there and sing or dance or whatever the case may be, and they're bad at it because you know they're bad at it because I know. And like, I'm sure us as like music majors and like music industry, like, you know, people would say we have an ear for music or whatever, but anyone can hear that some people are just bad.
My next artist that I think should just be off the radar, 6ix9ine. I don't even know where to start with this because I have a friend who plays his music and it's loud, it's obnoxious, it's yelling in my ear, it's not good. I just don't quite understand. And he uses words that he shouldn't be using. And it's just not, it doesn't sit right with me. And I don't really like him. He looks gross. He looks dirty. I wouldn't ever want to be near him. So, and his music's not good. So that's my 2 cents on 6ix9ine.
I agree. You said it perfectly. Hit every point. I mean, I also know someone who listens to his music and will stand by him. I don't understand why. It's kind of like with people like that, you just have to keep on moving because there might be something wrong, you know, with their music taste. So
There's no hope for them.
There's none. Like, sometimes you just have to understand that some people like bad music.
I have no opinion, but I've listened. I've listened to them and I have not been intrigued.
I think there's been one song that I'm like, okay, I could maybe get behind this song.
Is it the one with Nicki?
No.
Oh.
No, it's like the Spanish song. So that was the only one that I was like, okay, this is kind of fun.
Literally
like,
the
that
only
was the only one. Yeah.
With the one with Nicki, I can't even remember. Fifi, I think is the name of it.
Probably.
The only one that I was like, okay. But even then, I just really liked Nicki's part. So it doesn't count really.
And then my next artist is the Chainsmokers. Why do they keep making the same song over and over again? And why does it keep charting #1? I just want to know because it's boring, it's repetitive, it's not very amazing. I feel like their first couple hits, it was like, oh yeah, this is fun, dance music, whatever, whatever. And then it all just kind of started sounding the same. And then it started getting overplayed. And then I never wanted to hear the Chainsmokers ever again in my life.
I really don't have much to say. I don't listen to the Chainsmokers. I think I'd probably know one of their songs, maybe two even, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what they are because I don't remember the songs at all. So I don't have much to say.
You definitely do remember them. They were on the radio so much. It was so irritating.
I know if you like hummed it or like maybe even told me a title, I'd probably know them. I just feel like it's also not my vibe of like music. So I don't have much of an opinion on them.
I'm sorry, I'm wincing because the melody of one of their songs, the one with Halsey, just popped into my head and it hurts. It hurts my brain. And many of my close friends, we are all on the same page. We do not like the Chainsmokers. And when they are charting, I am very annoyed. And then, while I did not want to bring up personality or shitty things that artists have done in this episode, the Chainsmokers also put on that show in the middle of the pandemic and nobody was wearing masks and so many people were there not social distance. I mean, it was a shit show. The fact that they were standing up on stage letting that happen was just rude and obviously put a bunch of lives at risk. So, the Chainsmokers, I don't care. I don't think they're good. I don't know if they will ever be good. I always give artists room to grow, but so far, I have not liked what I have heard. All right, so first I want to start off with my list of people that I actually don't think should be famous. But then I have a sub-list after that. Because I'm very organized, okay? So I think first and foremost, I have to mention J-Lo. Some people might be like, Jenny from the blog, no. But here's my piece. So I have some of her pop songs, like, on my, or they're kind of like dancey songs actually, and they're on my phone. And when I was younger I was like, oh yeah, like the production's like okay, like, and it's kind of catchy, but when you really listen, the vocals aren't good, the production isn't like amazing, like did it deserve to be in the top 40? Questionable. And really the only thing I think she has going for her talent-wise is her dancing. Like, she's a great dancer, and I would put Britney Spears in the same vein as that. But to contrast J-Lo with Britney Spears, Britney's songs are bangers. Womanizer, 3, like, that shit hits, But J-Lo, it's like, her songs are like, it's just not working. But, yeah, that's my deal with J-Lo. But more power to her if she's gonna keep being successful and performing at the Super Bowl.
J-Lo was also on my list, and I agree with the dancing because honestly, she was a dancer first. Like, that is her. J-Lo is a dancer. I think that she shouldn't be famous for her singing. Dancing, fine. Even acting, because I'm not gonna lie, J-Lo movies I love. Made in Manhattan.
So good.
I love J-Lo movies. But yeah, when it comes to the singing, it's just a no. And actually, it came out recently, I think. A lot of people were discovering that her songs were not even sung by her. And other people actually sang her songs.
How was this allowed?
How do they do that?
I don't get it either. Like, I remember hearing that first because I really want to be sure about this stuff before, but I can't remember if that's why I'm trying to look it up which song it was, but I'm pretty sure recently it came out that Ashanti sang one of J-Lo's songs, and it wasn't actually J-Lo singing it, or like wrote it or something like that. And people were like shocked. And I'm pretty sure it went viral on TikTok. But yeah, J-Lo as a singer is a no. J-Lo as a dancer, as an actress, yeah, I can get behind it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Chaliece on that. The only reason I admire J-Lo is because she is Hispanic. She's Puerto Rican, and she came out and she's doing her thing. So, that Super Bowl halftime show will forever be my favorite thing that happened in Miami. All the power to her, Her music isn't great. I'll give it to you. But you know, I like seeing a proud Puerto Rican do her thing. So I'm all for it, I guess.
My next artist is U2. We have a professor who will bat for them, and if you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm more of a Kiss girl myself. Um, and I think it just wasn't okay, first of all, for them to put a whole album on our phones. Androids were kept safe. Apple phones, you better watch out. Because U2 is coming with a full album that's not even good. And sticking it in your library. And, I mean, that was just like, I think it pissed me off because it was like, well, now I don't have control over my own music library. It's just like, even deleting it on Apple is like not that easy. Like, people can say it is, but it's really not. Like, it just kept showing up. It was like COVID, like new strains everywhere. And then I've given their catalog a chance, and there's just nothing there for me. I just have never been impressed with their music every single time I've listened to it. And that is all.
I can agree about the free album. That's all I think about if like I ever see U2 or if I hear U2, I'm just thinking about the free album. I can picture the cover in my head from having to scroll and see it there. Like, what? I was so confused when that happened. Everyone probably was like, oh my God, what's going on? They had to look through online. But yeah, that's all I think about. And I don't think I've ever really listened to U2 other than that free album that I was basically forced to listen to. So don't have much of an opinion. Maybe I'll give them a listen just for you, Jenna, so I can understand fully. But yeah, I don't think I've listened to them enough to be like, ugh, but the free album reaction is the same, yes.
Yeah, same with me, free album. Didn't know how to get rid of it. I think it took me many years to finally get it off my library, so that was very irritating. But I also haven't really listened to their music, so no opinion. I don't even, whenever like the music from the free album would come up, I didn't even give it a chance. So yeah, no opinion.
What just like really irks me about it is that you put an album on there that wasn't even good. So it's like, that's already like deduction of 1,000 points in my book. Because if you're gonna force me to have this thing on my phone, like, it better be damn good. Moving on, I was gonna say Pitbull, but actually I think his style is like unique, so I'm gonna leave him out of this. I wanna leave him out of this.
No.
Chaliece, you can bring him up.
It's not your turn.
I think he's on this one song with Enrique Iglesias that I like so much that I can't even bring him up. I can't. Okay, so I'm moving into my overrated section, and I'm going to start off with Taylor Swift. I have to give it up to Taylor first. Like, there are attributes that she has that make her a good artist. Her storytelling, some people really are on that shit. I'm not really a big fan of them, but it resonates with some people, and I cannot deny that. But she knows how to tell a story in her music, and she's a good songwriter in terms of that. And then I like some of her songs, I cannot lie, but I don't think that she should be as big as she is. She doesn't have that X factor for me. Like, she's just not unique to me. She's like so boring. So boring. Even Reputation wasn't hitting. It's like you try to do something edgy and it's just like not landing with me. And that is all.
I agree, especially with boring. It's down to her tour outfits. I'm bored.
Does she even dance? It's like
all I can think, which I really don't want to be like.
She brings out famous people and think that's enough.
So my opinion on Taylor Swift. I like her old stuff. I do enjoy myself, but I also think her voice is very average. I think that if you were to listen to her and not know like who she was, you wouldn't be like pop star. You wouldn't think anything. Like, her voice is just very average. There's nothing special to her. I did go to her concert. I went to the 1989 tour. I went to 2 of her shows. I went to the one in Miami and the one in Tampa. I didn't pay for the tickets. My friend invited me to both. And I thought she did put on like a good like show, I guess. She doesn't really dance, but like the settings and like the little things she does and like it's entertaining. I think it was a good show, but like yeah, like bringing on a different famous person on stage every night wasn't impressive. I think she messed up very big when she didn't bring on Pitbull for the Miami show. My sister really likes Taylor Swift, and she's like, I think she has a good voice. And I'm like, but do you? Do you really?
Do your ears work?
Yeah, I'm like, it's not good. Like, you can't tell me the Reputation album is good. And her last two albums, they sound the same to me. I have no opinion on those. So boring. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about her. Very average, boring. Don't get it.
So, my next overrated artist is Louis Capaldi. I have very little to say. All I want to say is that when I listen to his songs, my head hurts. And he's on the radio so much, it's like very painful. And I barely listen to the radio, but you know, when you're out, like you hear him and he's like doing this ballad in the grocery store and I can't. I just can't do it. His voice just isn't my thing. But like if people vibe with that, like that's fine. Like I see like he's talented. It's just overrated for me.
I like his most famous song, but I haven't listened to anything else other than that. It's the album that's like Red, I believe. But you know how I am with the ballads. Like, I'm gonna love it because it's slow and it's sad and there's passion. So I vibe. Yeah, I don't know if maybe like the world just needed a ballad at that time and that's why they blew it up. I also didn't understand why the song got so big.
I have no opinion of him. I know the one song and I don't really care for it. I never added it to any of my playlists. I just don't care about it. So, no opinion on him.
All right, Chaliece, we're about to have beef. I think Ed Sheeran is an overrated artist. I only like one song. It's Give Me Love. But I think a lot of his songs sound very similar, and I wish he would switch it up. And I think he has too many fans for his music. I yield my time.
Well, it's a good song for you to like. I don't think I believe the one song thing. I'm thinking you haven't listened to enough. I love Ed. I think it's because of my ballad thing again. And I like music that makes me cry. And his music makes me cry. I mean, I guess I can get the overrated thing, but he's good as like an artist. And if you see him live, he's crazy because just the way that he does his music, the way that he works with his instruments, like he has what's it called? Like the step thing on stage. And to watch him do that, because a lot of artists are starting to do that now, but to watch them do that is so crazy. Especially when I saw him, that was the first time I've ever seen someone do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like he's on stage doing this right now, like combining these sounds. And basically he's in a studio on stage, like right now. I thought that was amazing. I think he's great at writing his songs. They mean something to him. Yeah. I love me some Ed, but I guess I can get the overrated thing. I thought you were going to have someone, I was really going to go crazy on. I'm understandable.
You have so much of his merch, and like I know you've been to his shows. You're wearing a shirt now.
I know. I did it on purpose because I knew that it would come up. But this is my guy, But at the same time, I guess I get it because I'm being honest. But if you were to say something else, say someone else that like it's just that's different.
I like Ed Sheeran. I'm a fan. I've been to one of his shows, and like Chaliece said, his concerts are great. Like it's really cool. I like the way he does his like loop thing, and I really like his songwriting. I could see him being overrated, but I think he's talented. He's obviously got something going for him, at least with his songwriting. And I feel like what kind of made him like cool and unique is the way that he does his shows, because maybe now people are doing that, but like before, I'd never seen that personally, at least. So I don't know. I like him. He's quirky.
No, I agree with saying like you've never seen someone do that. I think that's another reason why I was just so shook, like seeing that. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is possible.
I thought it was so cool.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think a lot of people in pop just aren't that talented enough to do that anyway. So I think that's why it's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I do not doubt that he is super talented instrumentally. Like, he really is. I have noticed. The shows. But yeah, he's talented. Just not my cup of tea.
Time for my list. You guys really said what I was gonna say when it comes to the D'Amelio girl. That's what I have written down. The D'Amelio girl, J-Lo and Taylor Swift. But you already know I'm gonna bring her up. Miss Selena Gomez equals trash. I don't care.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what you guys have to say. Actually, I'm going to be a little understanding. Maybe I need to listen more. But from what I know, the answer is trash. And I'll give it to her for having good stories and you know, but I don't even know if that's really her, you know, because you have artists that make these songs and Taylor Swift is also like this, and then the fans kind of make the story for them, and then you can start to like kind of vibe with the music because it has something deep behind it. But I didn't hear Selena Gomez say anything about this song being about this and this song being about that. Maybe it's just me. So take that whole story part away. My opinion is trash. I've never liked Selena Gomez singing from Send It On. And then
Don't bring that song up. No slander on my Send It On.
Send It On is a great song, but she should have been switched out with someone else.
Yikes.
Who did we have?
Listen, I understand, but she fit the aesthetic and the friend group. If they were a friend group, don't know.
No.
Definitely
But,
not
like,
friends.
She fit the whole aesthetic, but voice-wise, I could live without that. I could live without Selena Gomez being a singer. That's it. That's all I have to say about her. Go ahead. Say your piece.
So something you need to know about Chaliece is that she has no room for bad vocals in her life. So if somebody can't sing, it's over. Like, if they can't even be a mediocre singer, it's not even worth listening to. And I think that's why she loves Sam Smith so much and the ballads, because there's really no hiding in a ballad. Your voice has to be good. For me personally, so I did like Kiss and Tell. I did like some of the songs in the later albums, but then I was like, in the Ready Come and Get It song, like, I can't listen to that. I can't. I think it's trash. But as she went on, Bad Liar is my shit. Like, that bass line, and then it's very simple, and I love the way she sings in that song. And then her most recent album, Rare, was pretty good. And then for me with Selena, yeah, she's a shit singer. She can't sing. But I have a room for bops. If the song is good, the song sounds good. And the vocal editing, it works for me. But there are artists who can't hide because they don't know how to sing. Selena tries her best. I can't say her songs are deep. I can't say her songs are super powerful. For me, they're just fun. And she has a song called Fun that's really good. I recommend it. I yield my time.
I have no opinion on her. I liked her stuff when they showed the music videos on Disney Channel, and I was like, yeah, this is fun. But I personally do not listen to her stuff now. I don't really like it. I've seen videos of her like during her tours, and I'm like, this isn't good. Like, if I personally had paid for that, I'd want a refund. But that's just me. But I think besides her singing, I think she's a good person, you know? I think she's been through a lot and I like her as a person. And maybe my opinion on her changed because I recently started watching Selena and Chef on HBO Max. And I don't know. She seems fun. I think she's a good person. Not a good singer though. Not a good dancer. I don't personally see the attraction. And I don't really like that she's on this Spanish album now because if you're so Hispanic, where was this music years ago? Where was it?
So my last artist is going to be Pitbull. And it's going to be Pitbull. Sorry, Gaby. Love Miami, kind of. You know, with COVID, I don't know how much I can love Florida, but it's only going to be Pitbull. And because I don't want to be mean, I don't really listen to much of his things. So it's hard for me to say Pitbull. I don't like hearing Pitbull or like, you know, I don't like it. I can't vibe with it. When I hear it, I want it to turn off. Like, it's his voice to me. So that's why this is like extremely opinion based. Like, I'm not going to get into like music style or anything like that. It's just his whole voice and like the, you know, persona. I don't know. I don't really vibe with it. When I hear it, I'm like, that's it. I was going to say Dua Lipa as well. And it's because of one song that went viral. I didn't like.
Which one?
Her like biggest song. I can't listen to it. The one where, isn't it her who's in the hotel with the sleepover?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one either.
I cannot stand that song, so it made me not like her, but I haven't heard any of her stuff really. My boyfriend stands by her, loves her, and I can't do it. So it's not that I hate her, I just don't like that one song. Maybe I'll listen to some of her stuff and change my mind.
I think Nick should be on here instead.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we have to talk about Pitbull.
I have a lot to say.
Here, let me start, because Gabby is going to finish it off with her rant. So, with Pitbull, like, technically, to me, he's like a feature artist. Like, I think I've tried to listen to his actual songs, like his solo songs, and I've been pissed off, like, trying to listen to them. Because there's just something wrong. There's something wrong with them. But I think he does bring a certain energy to a song, and sometimes that's fun, but most of the time I'm like, my ears are bleeding. I yield my time.
You know what? You guys just don't understand it. First of all, let me bring something up. Miami and COVID. Who do you think's bringing that COVID? Tourists.
Who opened the beaches?
Florida.
Well, that's the governor's problem. But
it's your governor.
But it's everyone else being like, oh, Florida's open. Let me go to the beach. Let me go to Disney. Let me go to spring break in Miami, which, you know what? I genuinely hope they close the beaches for spring break because that's going to be a shit show. But anyways, it's tourists. But besides that, Pitbull has an aura, an energy. It's unmatched. And it froze, didn't it?
No, I'm just laughing at what you're saying.
Me too.
It's unmatched, okay? You just don't understand. You don't understand, okay? I've been to a Pitbull concert, all right? And when I went, I was surprised because I was like, you know what? This probably isn't going to be very good. Like, what can he possibly do by himself, you know? But there I was, and I had the best time of my life. And it's a shame that I went to a concert in Philly, a Pitbull concert in Philly, because energy level, not there. Not there. But if I were in that concert in Miami, oh my God. And you know what? I think that his features, I didn't even know he had songs just by himself, to be completely honest with you.
So you went to the concert thinking that you were just going to hear him sing his features?
He did.
So what did he do during the rest of the time?
Oh my God, he just had his little dancers like dance the whole time. It was so much fun. It was like the best
so
party.
He was doing like none of the legwork.
No, of course not. Of course not. Now, is he like talented? No, of course not. But his music is just, it's fun. Like, how can you just be like, oh, I hate Pitbull, I want to turn it off. Don't get me wrong, I probably wouldn't listen to Pitbull like while I'm studying, because like that's weird. But like to get hyped up, absolutely. Fireball, it's a banger. All right. I stand by that song. Now don't get me wrong, he has some bad songs. Timber, so bad. Hate that song. Can't stand it. Skip immediately. But I think he brings something different and he represents Miami, and I appreciate that.
What I hear is Pitbull is a glorified hype man.
Yeah. And you don't appreciate him. So you
only
he won't hype you up anymore.
He never did.
I doubt that.
No, I
doubt it.
No. Once I even hear a little bit of Pitbull, it's got to go off. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't get behind it. Sorry, Miami people, but I can't get through it. And I'm going back to the COVID thing. Your governor.
Yeah, he sucks. He sucks. I agree.
No, it's Florida. It's not the tourists. It is Florida.
The governor sucks, but if Florida's so bad, then why are people still going?
Listen, I'm not.
Warm in March.
You're not, but people are still going.
Oh my god.
We just named a bunch of different artists, a bunch of different genres. So let's just talk about why we think some of these artists even gain traction. Like, why? Why are they so popular? We don't have to name anyone in particular, like maybe Pitbull, but we could talk about some other artists.
I think because we were just talking about it, like when you get signed, sometimes when you are a part of a label, you just have smart people that know what they're doing when it comes to promotion, you know? And I also think it goes with time. Like if you go with like J-Lo, back then when she like first was like coming up, I think it was like that time period and the music was perfect and her vibe, it was like Jenny on the block, like all of that was just very much what you like to hear, you know? I think it's just like really all the stuff that, you know, you think of right away, like time, location, again with J-Lo, like New York will push your stuff if it vibes, if you're repping that you're from there. And, you know, it comes with a lot of artists. Again, Pitbull, you know, he reps where he's from and that makes people excited. People love to hear, oh yeah, that's me, you know, I'm from there too. So I'm going to hype this artist up. But I think it's just, you know, you have to be strategic. I think they either have like people behind them that are really, really smart, or they're just like really confident about where they're from and their music fits the time. That's really what I think of like right away.
The YouTube artists, I feel like I've said my piece. Just people who are trying to branch out when they shouldn't. And there are some good singers on TikTok too that I found. But the people with a bunch of followers who suddenly think, oh, let me jump into this lane. Again, who said that you should? And if your brain said yes, get your ears checked. Because something's not right.
Bringing up the YouTubers, it brings up kind of like my next point. Like, I always wonder this myself. Do we think that these music, you know, people in these labels, like, do we think they like listen to like Dixie and they're like, that's good, like we should put that out? Or do you just think like, oh, she's famous right now, so let's just sign her and like we'll drop her in like a year or two? Because like I automatically think of Bad Baby. Like, what? I haven't listened to her music. I have no opinion. I have no opinion on her music. But like, what made them sign her? You know?
I will say that Atlantic Records specifically are very good at this. They always go to basically what's hype. And in the last few years, they've been very good at that as well, because they signed Bad Baby, they signed the little yodeling boy. And I did like me some Bad Baby. Me and my best friend from like high school used to listen to her. And then, you know, she was just too racist for me. So had to end that. But I did vibe a little bit. I think it's definitely, you know, money. And we talk about labels all the time where it's like, you know, they want money, 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 money. And that's really what they're doing. when they see someone that's hype, they're going to be like money. And with Bad Baby, I'm almost positive her story was like after she got off on the show, I think a manager from Atlantic came like to her house and was like, we have to find something for you to do. And she said that she could rap or whatever. And that's how it started. I guess they just latched on to that fame and of her going so viral, and then it ended up being something because her songs actually weren't too bad. People started to like them. I don't know if it was a great choice. I think it is a good choice because they low-key took a chance and ended up with someone that actually had enough quote unquote talent to do something. But I think that's always just their plan. It's just money. I think that's probably what it is with Dixie as well. It's just money. And with Dixie, it seems like maybe she might be viral and stuff for a longer time. So they're like, yeah, we got to get her to do something. And it was music, singing. And they're like, all right, good enough for me.
This topic kind of got my blood boiling and my brain like churning. In the first episode, we mentioned how Gaby and I learned at our music business summer program that A&R was dying. And this kind of falls into that point because we are in this capitalistic structure. So it's hard to blame these labels when they're looking for the easy get of cash because somebody's already popular. So if we put their music out, they're already going to have eyes on it. And at that point, it doesn't matter if it's good because if they're going to make money, that's how their business works. They're inclined to put out music that's going to be popular. It doesn't matter if it's good. That really is the death of A&R right there. But then from a personal perspective, somebody who like really loves music and music that's at least somewhat good or is worth listening to, it pisses me off that artists who just are popular online are taking up that space of somebody who's actually talented and wants it and has craft. It pisses me off that like that spot's taken up because somebody who has a following feels like they want to start a career when there's like people who have good voices and good music and want to write and want it to be their livelihood, are working their ass off every day and are talented and could have that spot. The label has the power to like put that shit on the radio. And like that's what people hear. So it's like it also kind of perpetuates this cycle of like shit music that's popular. And that's a good thing about Spotify. Putting out music has become more easy to make music in the bedroom and put it out and gain a following that way. Like that's great and all, but in my heart I hate that people in A&R at like major labels are kind of throwing talent away or pushing artists they might not even like because it's going to make them more money and it's going to keep them in their job.
It's bad, and I don't like it too because there's so many artists that deserve to have just as much exposure, you know. I mean, most of the time that is their goal. It is money, and that's if that's your job, you're going to do your job enough to be able to, you know, succeed in what you're doing. And their job is to make money, and they literally do just that. And the reason that it works out for like these artists that they decide, oh, I want to do this, is because they're presented with the money that they can make. So that's why so many of them are like, oh, I'm just going to start singing or I'm going to start rapping or whatever, because they're like, you can make this amount of money because you have this following. All these people will listen and then some. So it sucks that everything, like you said, like everything comes down to money, but that really just is how it is. And like you said, there's so many artists on TikTok that are actually good. Lately, my For You page has been back to back, like amazing singers on TikTok, like artists in general, singers, like it comes to instrumentalists, dancers, anything, like just good artists. And I'm hoping that they continue to get this exposure and that I don't know if maybe like I want them to be under a label because, you know, there's pros and cons with that. But I want them to end up having that success and gaining this money and actually doing well because they're so good, more so than like the artists that are just thrown into it because, hey, you can make thousands, you know? it's always good and bad with like the A&R situation when it comes to like social media and all of that. But I think TikTok's definitely good for finding the good artists as well.
That kind of just reminded me, remember the big data class that we had? They brought in the guy from Next Big Sound. I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And Next Big Sound literally just shows you the artist following and how they're doing with like their social media posts and how they're doing like with socials. And like Chaliece was mentioning, like with TikTok artists, like it's such a shame because some of those people don't get as big. So say an A&R person does come across so and so, they're gonna see their Next Big Sound, stats, and they're gonna be like, oh, not good enough. Like they don't have that much of a following. And it's really such a shame because I feel like we really lose out on a lot of good artists because maybe they're not good at promoting their stuff on social media. Like not everyone is good at social media. And I don't know, it's just unfair that, like Chaliece said, a lot of people like just miss out because they're not good at promoting their stuff or something like that. I wouldn't be good at promoting my stuff. I just learned how to change the background of an Instagram story post. Like that's not fair. So it's just really frustrating because some people just aren't good at social media, especially older people. Say like you're an older person trying to get into like the music industry.
God damn, you're
It's
screwed.
It's just not fair,
Yeah.
So today's segment is going to be music moments in my life.
The music moment in my life that was very big and happened pretty recently. I went to my first Tame Impala concert. I had been a fan of them for 3 years, like loved their music, and this was my first time seeing them, so I was like really excited. So I had my GA ticket, and again, I don't have enough money to buy tickets for my friends, so I usually go alone. I show up early because I had GA, and I was like, I want to be the first in line. I want to be at the front because my brother went like a few weeks before and he was at the front, so I was like, I also have to up my brother here. And let me just show you what happened when I got there. First, I was at the wrong entrance, and then I show up to the actual entrance. I walk through this grass. It's raining, and I see this. There's nobody there. And I can't even sit down because the ground's wet. It's gonna make my pants wet. Okay? There's nobody there. It's like 4. And I'm like, whatever happened to like the 1975 lines that I would stand in for literally hours? I was like, where are the fanatics? And I guess Tame Impala does not have that following in America like that. Do you see those little gates? Those were for the lines. I was there before the gates went up for the lines where people get their tickets checked. I was like, I don't know where I am right now. Anyways, I literally waited for a spot on the ground to dry. Here's me with my umbrella. So I was standing for a while, and I waited for a spot on the ground to dry so I could sit. I made a few calls. I was having a good time, just kind of excited, anticipating the concert. But all of a sudden, this guy comes up, and he's like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, oh my. And it's like this really expensive sweatshirt, Tame Impala sweatshirt. It's like an XL. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they're trying to get rid of it. But he just gave it to me for free. And I was like, eh. I was literally like a groupie.
Yeah.
Finally, these lesser fans show up a little bit later than me. But I have my sweatshirt in my backpack, so I'm feeling pretty good. My free sweatshirt. Finally, I'm let in. I have my merch, so I can just go right to GA. Heyo. And then I'm at the front, right in the middle, and I'm like, my Tame Impala fan is just living. And I remember saying in another episode that the 5 Seconds of Summer concert was the best of my life, but this was it. I take it back. This was it. And my brother had gotten a drumstick. So I made this sign that said, like, you gave my brother a drumstick in Minnesota. Can you help me complete the set? And then they read my sign since I was right at the front, and I was like, it's happening. And then he was like, what one do you want? Like, what's the other one? And I was like, because I don't know drumstick brands. And I was just like, I hope this doesn't cost me a drumstick, because that would be pretty stupid. And I remembered the brand, but I didn't say it out loud because I was nervous if I was wrong. People would have heard that. Like, it would have been really embarrassing. But they gave it to me, and I gotta show y'all the video of me losing my shit. Oh, and I just want to preface this by saying that I'm not the one that's screaming, oh my god, because ever since that One Direction concert, and I heard myself scream like that, I was like, I'm never screaming again while I'm taking a video. And, like, this was just happened to be somebody else in GA who was taking a video at the time. And Kevin Parker speaking and handing me the drumstick. Enjoy.
W727W. How long have you been using this, Julian? Long time. Alright, here you go.
Oh my god! I'm surprised those girls didn't beat you up for it.
Oh my god.
The way that I had my bag like on the little thing over the GA barrier, so I had the drumstick stuck in there and I kept touching it. I was like, still there, still there, still there. And I kind of made friends with the girls next to me. Like, that was the first concert I've actually, like, met people. But anyways, I have the drumstick with me. It's my most prized possession. Gaby knows I put it up in my apartment as a little decoration when we were roommates. But when Kevin said, like, how long have you been using this? You can see the little marks, and I think that's pretty cool. My brother's doesn't have that, so, and it's not the same one. His was a Vic Firth, and mine is a Pro Mark. Learning new things every day, people. But love Tame Impala. Thanks, Kevin. And you're a genius. That's my music moment.
The people who are taking your video were the girls that you just met?
Yeah.
Now they took it on your phone for you?
No, they sent it to me. She said she's like, I got a video of you, like, I'll send it to you later. And, like, I got her details. Nice. Yeah.
That is nice. So, who was screaming, oh my god? Because I thought it was
I don't know. No, you would know if it was me.
So, my story is very different. But, so basically, I played the viola since 4th grade up until my senior year of high school. And I wasn't all that great, but you know what? I really enjoyed myself. I liked the people in orchestra. I thought it was really good. I have a few memories from orchestra. One of the very highlights being my first practice test in high school. I wasn't very good because I was like nervous, you know? So he's like, all right, Gaby to the front. They put us in like little quartets, whatever. Anyways, and so I start playing and I sucked so bad. So you finish playing and then he'll like go through comments and he'll say your grade out loud so like everyone can hear. He gets to me and he's like, Gaby, like that could use a lot of work. And so I was like, thanks. And then he gave me like a C, I think. So then I started crying because I'm a crybaby.
Wait, at the front of the class?
Yes, I started crying in class. I was like,
oh no.
It was my first practice test in high school and I cried because I got a bad grade and I didn't like getting bad grades. That was my music moment in my life.
All right, so my music moment in my life is about another concert experience with the same friend that I went to the last concert with. I don't know if you guys know about Jake Miller. He's still making music today. My friend, and I'll shout her out, Lauren, I know you're listening. She loved him. And like I said before, whoever loved the person, whatever, we both went to the show because sometimes you just need someone there with you. It was a weird show. All I remember is that in New York, of course, I think it was like a smaller show and it was like whoever could fit because I'm going to say it was at Hard Rock Cafe. We got there early, of course, and we're in this line. And there's already a line formed, so it wasn't like too bad. Like we were in a good spot in the line. We were standing there for so long. When I mean so long, we were there for hours. And then they were saying, oh, it was either like Jake Miller wasn't here yet or like the place wasn't together yet. It was something. So we ended up staying so much longer than we were supposed to. And we're just standing there and it was the time of Vine, of course. So there were these people that were also like in the line, I believe. And I remember saying to my friend, I was like, they're Viners. Like, we should go and talk to them. They're Viners. So we go over, we're chatting with them. It ends up being Denzel Dion and two other Viners. Denzel Dion, I watch his YouTube videos now. So love him. He's cool. The picture that I have with him is extremely funny. Yeah, we met them. And one of the Viners was like a singing Viner. So like he sang on Vine. And my friend's like, she sings, have her sing. And I'm standing there like, Lauren, stop. Like, I don't need to be doing all this. And it's in the midst of like, all these people are in this line. So to this day, I'm thinking someone might have a recording of it, but I don't know how I sounded, but I sang thinking about you, my Frank Ocean, to this random guy. He was just a Viner. He wasn't like he was going to sign me or something, you know, but I was like, okay, I guess I'm singing right now. I sang part of the song. And then I just remember stopping at like right before it got to like really big. And he was like, oh man, keep going. And I remember him like kind of like trying to like sing with me too. And me just being like, come on, Chaliece, sing, you can do it, just sing. Then that was over. It was cool, you know, you hug. And then we went back into our line in our spot and we were waiting there for hours. Then all of a sudden my friend's like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't feel good? She's like, I don't feel good. My head hurts or something. She's like, I can't be in this line anymore. Like, I have to sit down. And I was like, okay, then sit down. She's like, no, over by the sidewalk. Because, like, it was next to the building. So, obviously, like, we're on sidewalk. But she's like, I have to sit, like, right there at the sidewalk. And I was like, well, we're going to be getting off the line then. We're going to lose our spot. She's like, I can't do it. Like, I don't know. So, after waiting for hours, and when I mean hours, it was all day. We were there all day. She's like, I have to leave the line. We end up leaving the line, going across the street to a Starbucks. And of course, when we leave is when they start letting people in. And she's like, no, I don't feel good. And I still, to this day, don't know what was wrong with her. I can't remember. I don't know. But I'll give it to her. She gets migraines. So that was probably what was it. And then we look over, they're still letting people in. And then she's finally like, I feel better. And I was like, we can't go now because they already let their people in. Like, that was it. So we ended up not seeing Jake Miller. And we basically spent the whole day waiting in a line.
So let's finish off this episode with this one last question of where do we see some of these artists in the future? Do we think they're going to continue to make music? Do you think labels will keep them? Will they drop them? Will they disappear from Earth? What do we think will happen?
Damn, where are they going?
I don't know. Disappearing.
It's a hard question because I feel like it's a case-by-case basis. For a group like the Chainsmokers, I think either they grow and change or they're gonna go away. Their just music isn't just that similar to each other. Like, they're not good enough. But like with people like Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, they're gonna stay, and I think that they're actually gonna evolve still, and I don't think they're anywhere near done yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of the people that became artists or famous off social media, I think those people will definitely go away way sooner. But I wouldn't be surprised if they stick around for a while, unfortunately. I think it depends on like when the next social media platform will come and like when that becomes famous and when those people start to do their own thing. So for now, I see Dixie in our future for a very long time.
I think it's crazy how these socials are actually just kind of changing like so many kinds of media and art. It'll be interesting to see whether their music, like their brand of generic music from not talented people, might be what's popular. And maybe people that are younger than us are like kind of on board with that. I'm a bit scared with how like the top 40 or the most popular songs will change just with the influence of social media.
Leah, like to go off of what you're saying, the way that we spoke about Disney and how much like Disney like influenced us, if Disney's not doing the same thing with music, I remember saying, like, I don't really know what their TV shows are doing, but if they're not, and they're not the strongest, which I don't think they really would be the strongest over TikTok right now, to be honest. TikTok might take the cake for being what influences all of these like younger people. So it might just be these TikTok artists that are like the top artists, and they don't know at the time that the music is bad. Like, sometimes we did that. We didn't know at the time that it wasn't good. And then they grow up and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I liked that. And we're like older, like, yeah, neither can we. You brought all these artists into the charts for no reason. But I think definitely with the social media ones, sad to say, I think Dixie and everyone like her will stay for a little bit. I think eventually she'll probably figure out to do something different. And that's usually how it goes when the music just really does not hit enough. They usually figure out, okay, well, maybe we need to start a TV show or, just to find some other way to make income. But some other stars like 6ix9ine and Taylor Swift and some other people. I think 6ix9ine is definitely different from like Taylor Swift, but 6ix9ine, I think he's probably gonna have his loyal people to him for some reason, so he'll stick along, but I don't even know. It's so hard to tell. It really is like case to case, as you say, Jenna, but it's difficult because we kind of have to just sit and deal with it.
Thank you so much for listening to us talk about some of the artists that we are just not into, don't really understand them, or just don't really like their music. We hope we didn't offend any of their fans too much. Really was not our intention, just speaking our minds. Join us next week where we will be talking about how we find new music, starting from where we first started to find music when we were younger and how we find music now with streaming services. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at MMMLC Podcast for sneak peeks and updates on our upcoming episodes. And if you'd like to watch our podcast, you can find us on YouTube at Music Makes Me Lose Control Podcast. Missy Elliott, call us. We want the mechanical license. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.